Hello, I'm Noah Smith, and today I invite you on a deep journey that weaves together consciousness, spirituality, and subtle physics to reveal how our unconscious mind shapes the invisible foundations of the world we live in. What is reality, if not a sensory mirage interpreted by a conditioned mind? We live within a set of perceptions, beliefs, and memories that shape what we call real life. But is this reality truly as solid as we think? What if the world around us is only the densest layer of what dwells in the silence of the subconscious? What if the events, the encounters, the repeating cycles are merely reflections of something pulsing within us, far from the surface of awareness? Before anything else, the invisible governs the visible. The subtle shapes the dense, the beliefs you carry without noticing, the feelings that live in your body even when there are no words. All of it silently writes the story you live each day without fully understanding. You are not a hostage of chance. You are the unconscious author of every line of your experience. And perhaps, just perhaps, the time has come to turn the page, to rewrite the code, to remember that reality always begins from within. Reality doesn't begin out there. Most of us live believing that reality is something solid, objective, and beyond our control. But what if everything you call real life is merely a reflection of the frequencies you emit? What if the world you see around you is just the densest layer of what exists within your inner world? This idea isn't new. Mystics have always known it. And now, science is beginning to suspect it too. Before anything else, the invisible governs the visible. The subtle shapes the dense. What you believe, even without realizing it, is shaping your reality every single day. The subconscious, the silent coder. You don't act with the logic you think you have. In truth, about 95% of your life is driven by subconscious programming, hidden commands, truths absorbed in childhood, inherited fears, words you once heard, traumas you felt, emotions you never knew how to process. Reality doesn't begin out there. What if everything we call real life is just the dense, physical, tangible response to a subtle frequency you're constantly emitting without even noticing? What you feel, think, and believe forms a field. That field vibrates, and reality organizes itself around it. Mystics of all ages have whispered this in other words. They said, "The outer world is an illusion," but not in the sense that nothing is real. Rather, in the sense that what is real begins within. Today, science itself is beginning to suspect the same. Phenomena in quantum physics show that the observer influences the outcome, that reality responds to intention, that the field responds to focus. Before anything else, the invisible governs the visible. The subtle shapes the dense. What you believe, even unknowingly, shapes your daily experience. You don't live inside a fixed reality. You live within a vibration that manifests around you. And when you change from within, the entire world changes with you. Your subconscious functions like an invisible programmer, running lines of code you don't even remember accepting, and life simply responds. The cycle no one taught you. There's a silent cycle that governs everything you experience. It's simple, but no one taught you. Belief, emotion, vibration, reality. That's how it works. Everything begins with a belief, and often that belief isn't even yours. It was inherited, heard, lived. Maybe you never consciously chose to believe it, but still, it took root. That belief generates an emotion. The emotion repeats and forms a vibration. And that vibration, it becomes your signal. It's like a silent language that speaks to the universe without words. But with absolute coherence, you can say, I want to prosper. But if what vibrates within you is fear, scarcity, guilt, that's what returns to you. You may ask for love, but if you vibrate abandonment, neediness, rejection, you'll attract what confirms your frequency, not your wishes, but your deepest beliefs. And no, this is not punishment. It's not a curse. It's not karma. It's vibrational coherence. The universe doesn't respond to what you say. It responds to what you vibrate. Reality doesn't punish you. It reveals you. It shows you with precision what lives within you, so you can see it, acknowledge it, and transform it. You don't live what you desire. You live what you vibrate. The network that connects everything. There is an invisible field all around you, a silent, intelligent, vibrant space, a place where everything, absolutely everything, is connected. Some call it the quantum field. Others name it the morphogenetic field, the collective unconscious, the noosphere, or even Akasha, as in the ancient traditions. But in truth, the name doesn't matter. The name is just a human attempt to explain the unexplainable. What matters is what it does. This field is like a living web of consciousness. It is present in all things. It receives what you emit and returns, with precision, what resonates with your vibration. Your thoughts, your feelings, your intentions. They don't vanish into the void. They merge into the field. They become living information. Waves of frequency that travel, touch, transform, and return. You are constantly participating in this network, whether you realize it or not. You emit, you influence, you are part of the code. You have never been separate from the whole. The feeling of separation is merely an illusion of the mind. In truth, you are immersed in a greater intelligence, one that speaks to you through synchronicity, through vibration, through presence. The field is listening. What are you saying? With your vibration. How to rewrite the code. The good news is, everything that was once programmed can be reprogrammed. You are not doomed to repeat what you've lived. You are not bound by the beliefs you inherited. The code that governs your reality can be rewritten. But not through struggle, not through denial, not through force. Reprogramming happens with intention, with presence, with a constant conscious practice. It is a movement from within that slowly transforms everything around you. Here are 4 simple yet powerful paths that can shift your frequency, and with it, your life. Visualize as if you are already living what you desire. Don't imagine it as a distant dream. Feel it as if it's real. Breathe in the emotion of your new reality. The subconscious doesn't understand time. It understands emotional frequency. Affirm with your body, not just your words. Speak with your heart, with your breath, with your presence. Feel each word becoming a vibrational truth. I am enough. I am part of the divine flow. Meditate before sleep. In the moments before falling asleep, your mind enters a state where the subconscious becomes receptive. This is fertile soil. It's the perfect time to plant new seeds, with love and intention. Intuitive writing. Write as if you were speaking with your soul, with your future self, with your quantum field. It already exists, and it's waiting for you to remember who you truly are. The code is within. The change begins with you. The world changes when you change. The reality around you is like a mirror. It reflects not what you want, but what you vibrate. Maybe for a long time, You tried to change external circumstances, your relationships, your job, your routine, believing the problem was outside of you. But then, slowly, something within you began to shift, and the world responded. As you heal from within, the outer barriers start to lose their power. What once seemed like an immovable block begins to dissolve. What used to limit you either loses its meaning or simply stops affecting you. People change, or rather, you change, and begin to see them in a new light. You stop reacting and start understanding. You stop resisting and start choosing with awareness. Life then begins to realign. New possibilities emerge, paths open, coincidences turn into synchronicities. And why? Because now, you vibrate differently. You're no longer repeating what was. You're creating what can be. You've stepped out of autopilot and into creation. You've stopped being a reflection and become a source. That's the beauty of inner transformation. When you change, everything changes with you. Not because the world became something else, but because you became someone who sees, feels, and chooses differently. The world is still the same, but your frequency changed everything. The journey begins with listening. The true journey doesn't begin with big steps. It doesn't require maps or speed. It begins in silence. It begins with the willingness to listen, not to the outside world, but to the universe that vibrates within you. You don't need to become someone new. You don't need to rebuild yourself from scratch. This idea that you have to be someone else is just an illusion of a tired mind. You didn't come here to reinvent yourself. You came to remember who you are without the fears you were taught to carry, without the voices that dimmed your light, without the old codes you've held for so long without questioning. You came to return to your essence, to reconnect with what time has never erased, your presence, your truth, your natural frequency. Reality, after all, is a mirror, and when we don't like the image we see, reflected, the tendency is to try to break the mirror. But the mirror is not the problem. It only shows. It does not judge. It does not react. It only reflects. If you want to change the reflection, don't fight what you see. Change the source of the light. And that light comes from within, from listening, from silence, from the moment you finally say, "I'm done running from myself." That's where the journey begins. Not in the rush to change everything, but in the courage to, for the first time, sit with yourself and listen. The pen is in your hand. You were never random. Your presence in this world is not a coincidence. It's a calling. No matter how many voices tried to convince you otherwise, no matter how many systems tried to mold you into something small, the truth never stopped whispering. You hold the frequency. You hold the power. And that power lives in this moment. Not in the past that tried to define you. Not in the future that you fear might not arrive. But right here, in the stillness between your breaths. Right now, you can begin again. With a breath. With a pause. With a decision. You are not what the world tried to name you. You are not the pain you carried, the roles you played, or the labels you believed. You are what you choose to vibrate now. The pen has always been in your hand. The page is still blank, and the universe, infinite, intelligent, and awake, waits for your signal. Not your words, not your effort, but your vibration. Because the universe doesn't respond to appearances, it responds to coherence. If you write your life from the truth of your being, the universe echoes back with grace. If you vibrate from love, intention, and alignment, life reflects that signal with perfect synchrony. You don't need to control the outer world. You need only reprogram the inner. Reality will reorganize itself around the frequency you emit, effortlessly. Because reality is not something you chase. It is something you allow, something you become. So, rewrite. Not from fear, not from urgency, but from presence, from trust, from love. Write the life that matches the truth of your soul. Let each thought be a seed, each breath a prayer, each vibration a sacred message that says, I remember who I am. Because when you remember who you are, the universe remembers what it promised you. And if this message touched you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Spread this vibration to other hearts who are also ready to awaken. Maybe everything someone needs to hear today is right here, in these words that now live inside of you. Because yes, you are the code, and the time to activate it is now. I am Noah Smith. I'll see you in the frequency of consciousness.